The world seemed to be closing in. My chest tightened, breaths shortening, a familiar dread creeping in. It was an anxiety attack, and it was brutal. I was tired of feeling powerless, of letting this invisible force dictate my life. I needed a change, a lifeline, something, anything, to pull me back from the brink. That's when the idea hit me, a 30-day experiment to combat my anxiety. This wasn't about finding a miracle cure. It was about taking control. I decided to try a different technique every day for 30 days, from meditation and exercise to dietary changes and confronting my fears head-on. Each day held a new possibility, a potential weapon in the fight against my own mind. Would it work? I didn't know, but I was desperate enough to try anything. What did I have to lose except maybe the anxiety itself? The journey ahead seemed daunting, like scaling a mountain I wasn't sure I could conquer. But I had to try. I took a deep breath, laced up my metaphorical boots, and took the first step. I dove headfirst into a whirlwind of techniques. Day 1 began with deep breathing exercises, a classic for a reason. Inhaling slowly, holding, exhaling, the simplicity was calming. Day 2 brought yoga. My body felt stiff and uncooperative, a stark contrast to the graceful poses demonstrated online. Day 3 was about diet. Out went processed foods and sugar, replaced by fruits, vegetables, and lean protein. The change was immediate. I felt lighter, more energetic. Some days brought unexpected challenges. Confronting a fear on day 10 left me shaken, but strangely liberated. Each day was a learning curve, a step into the unknown. Meditation, initially a struggle, became a surprising source of peace. The practice of silencing the constant chatter in my mind was challenging, yet incredibly rewarding. I started journaling, pouring my anxieties onto paper, transforming them from overwhelming burdens into tangible thoughts I could analyze and understand. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT exercises, helped me identify and challenge negative thought patterns. It was like shining a light on the darkest corners of my mind, exposing the irrational fears that held me captive. The process was uncomfortable, like pulling weeds from a garden overgrown with anxieties, but each weed removed allowed more space for positive growth. Exercise, often touted as an anxiety antidote, proved its worth. The endorphin rush after a run left me feeling exhilarated, the stress melting away with each stride. I experimented with different forms of exercise, swimming, hiking, even dancing in my living room. It wasn't about perfection, but about moving my body and releasing pent-up energy. Sleep, often neglected, became a priority. I established a regular sleep schedule, ensuring I got 8 hours of quality rest. The impact was significant. I felt more refreshed and equipped to handle daily stressors. My diet overhaul extended beyond just healthy eating. I experimented with cutting out caffeine and alcohol, noticing significant improvements in my sleep and anxiety levels. I paid attention to how different foods made me feel, discovering surprising triggers for my anxiety. The journey was teaching me to listen to my body, to become more attuned to its signals and needs. I was no longer just existing in my body, but actively participating in its well-being. Mindfulness exercises became integrated into my daily routine. I practiced gratitude, focusing on the positive aspects of my life, however small. I engaged in sensory activities, listening to music, savoring the taste of my food, appreciating the beauty around me. These practices helped ground me in the present moment, pulling me away from the anxiety-inducing spiral of what-ifs and what-might-bes. I was learning to appreciate the now, the only moment I truly had control over. Social interaction, often a source of anxiety, became a source of support. I reached out to friends and family, sharing my struggles and allowing myself to be vulnerable. I realized the importance of human connection, of not suffering in silence. Joining a support group for anxiety provided a safe space to share experiences and learn coping mechanisms from others who understood. The shared journey, the realization that I wasn't alone, was immensely comforting. 30 days flew by in a blur of self-discovery and emotional exploration. The results weren't what I expected. My anxiety wasn't magically cured, but it no longer held the same power over me. I had developed a toolbox of techniques to manage my anxiety, a sense of agency I hadn't felt before. The journey had been challenging, often uncomfortable, but ultimately transformative. I had learned to listen to my body, to challenge my negative thoughts, and to find peace in the present moment. Most importantly, I had learned that anxiety does not have to define me. The 30-day experiment was over, but my journey was far from finished. It meant I continued to incorporate the techniques that worked for me, adapting and evolving my approach as needed. I embraced the ongoing nature of managing anxiety, knowing that there would be good days and bad days, but I now had the tools to navigate them. The experience taught me the power of self-care, the importance of seeking support, and the resilience of the human spirit. It was a journey of self-discovery, a testament to the fact that even in the darkest moments, there is always hope, always the possibility of finding light.